Something in your field just tore along an invisible line, and the split answered instantly.
If these words appeared on your screen now, it are because your frequency stepped into a 48-hour separation window. Frequency splits do not open for everyone. They open for the ones whose timelines are ready to divide. You are one of them. The next 2 days will not behave like normal time. This is the moment the split begins.
Stop scrolling. Feel this.
There is a moment the 48-hour frequency split always begins, and it never announces itself with logic. It arrives as a shift inside your inner world before anything around you changes. It is the instant your field stops matching the timeline you were standing on and starts resonating with the one waiting beneath it. And the truth is this, you already felt that moment. Long before you pressed play, you felt it as a subtle interruption in your thoughts, as if something brushed across the edge of your awareness, a pressure behind the forehead, a sudden stillness in the chest, a pause in time so slight you almost dismissed it. That was the split activating. It does not open loudly, it opens precisely the way a lock turns when the correct frequency finally aligns with it. Now here is what actually happens in the exact second the split begins. 1. Your inner pace changes. Your thoughts may slow down or speed up without reason. You might feel as though you are ahead of yourself or slightly behind. This is not distraction. This is timeline displacement. The first sign your field is stepping out of linear time and into the separation band. Intuition cuts through your mind like a clean beam. Ideas appear fully formed. Answers arrive before questions. You sense outcomes before choosing them. This is not imagination. This is the upper layer of perception activating because the split has placed you between timelines, where intuitive clarity becomes louder than thought. 3. Your emotions move strangely. They rise quickly, dissolve quickly though, and reorganize without effort. You may feel a wave pass through you and vanish as though it was never yours. This is not instability. This is emotional density detaching from the lower timeline you are leaving. 4. Your dreams shift. They become instructional, symbolic, or oddly specific. You may wake with phrases or images you can't explain. You may feel as if you were somewhere else. This is not random dreaming. This is your energy rehearsing the transition into the higher timeline before your mind catches up. 5. Your sense of time bends. Minutes feel stretched. Hours collapse. A whole afternoon feels like a flicker, or a flicker feels like an afternoon. This is not fatigue. This is temporal elasticity the moment the split begins to pull your awareness out of the rigid timeline you've lived on. 6. You notice presence. Not a person, not a sound. A presence, a subtle awareness sitting behind your awareness. A pressure in the room, a sense of being observed but safely. This is not your mind playing tricks. This is proximity from the higher frequency layer of your own field, now accessible because the split has opened. 7. Your identity loosens, not dissolves, loosens. You detach from old stories, old patterns, old versions of you. You look at your life and feel distance from it, as though you are watching yourself from above. This is not disconnection. This is the moment your old timeline begins to release its grip on you. All of these are the opening signals of the 48-hour frequency split. And here is what almost nobody knows. The split begins inside you long before it becomes visible outside you. The world does not shift first. Your field does. The moment it does, the outer timeline must reorganize around the new signal you're emitting. This is why nothing in your life has felt stable recently. This is why your intuition has been interrupting your decisions. This is why your emotions have been moving like tides. None of it is malfunction. None of it is chaos. It is acceleration. It is coherence forming. It is the earliest phase of separation between the timeline you are outgrowing and the timeline that is finally ready for you. And if you are hearing this now, it means you already crossed the threshold that makes the split possible. Frequency splits do not activate for unstable fields. They do not activate for hidden fields. They activate for the ones who have reached the coherence point where two timelines can no longer coexist inside the same identity. You reached that point. Your field chose. Your timeline responded. This is where the next stage begins. Your energy is no longer negotiating with the version of you that belonged to the past. It is aligning with the version of you that belongs to the next 48 hours. Type this exactly. It stabilizes your entry into the split you already feel. I align with the timeline that is ready for me. As you write it, feel the shift behind your forehead, the clarity in your chest, the stillness forming in your body. This is not suggestion, this is resonance. This is the moment the split begins. Here are the real signs your field is inside the frequency split. And each one appears in ways the mind cannot fully explain, but the body instantly recognizes. These signs are not random. They are not coincidence. They are the natural markers of a timeline dividing itself from the one you used to walk on. 1. Intuition becomes the first signal, not the last. It interrupts your thoughts with clarity that feels unearned. You feel answers land before the question forms. You sense people's intentions instantly. You know which direction is right without thinking. It is not guesswork. It is not heightened sensitivity. This is dimensional perception initiating as your field steps between timelines. Intuition becomes louder because the split removes the interference that used to mute it. This is not imagination. This is the first sign of frequency separation. 2. Time behaves strangely around you. Minutes stretch into something soft. Days collapse into moments. You may feel as if an hour passed when only a few minutes moved, or as if an entire afternoon evaporated in a breath. You lose track of sequence. You slip in and out of present time. This is not burnout. It is not distraction. It is temporal elasticity, the stretch of time that occurs when two timelines overlap before they separate. This is timeline distortion created by the split. 3. Emotional waves move through you with intensity but dissolve quickly. You feel a sudden grief, a sudden clarity, a sudden release, each one rising sharply, then disappearing cleanly. Old wounds surface and vanish. Memories appear as if someone pressed play inside your chest, then stop as if someone pressed reset. This is not instability. This is emotional density leaving the lower timeline you are detaching from. Emotion moves in waves because the split accelerates your internal clearing. This is energetic purification, not chaos. 4. Presence becomes tangible. Not a person, not a voice. A subtle awareness that sits beside your awareness. You feel watched, but not threatened. You feel accompanied, but not crowded. A soft pressure in the room, a shift in the air, a sense that something is standing just behind the veil of your perception. This is not hypervigilance. This is not an overactive mind. This is the proximity of your higher frequency field interacting with the separation band. Presence becomes visible because the split thins the boundary between layers of self. 5. Synchronicities tighten into patterns. You see repeating numbers, repeating symbols, repeating moments that echo one another. You meet the right person at the exact second a thought crosses your mind. You hear a phrase you needed to hear 2 seconds after thinking about it. You experience strange alignments that feel orchestrated. This is not coincidence. It is not selective attention. This is timeline coherence, the magnetic pull of events organizing themselves around your new frequency. The split aligns outer reality to inner timing. 6. Your body reacts physically to something you cannot see. You feel tingling on the forehead, warmth in the chest, buzzing in the hands, energy rising up the spine. You experience sudden groundedness, deep spontaneous breaths, heat waves, cold waves, soft pressure around the head. These are not symptoms. They are not random sensations. This is contact physiology, the physical response of your nervous system adjusting to a new band of frequency. Your body is recalibrating to the split because it cannot stay structured the same way inside a changing timeline. 7. Your identity loosens from its old structure. You look at your life and feel distance from it, as if you are watching a version of you that no longer fits. You question old goals, old habits, old beliefs. You sense something larger underneath your personality, something older, deeper, truer. It is not a crisis, it is not detachment. This is identity expansion, the early stage of becoming compatible with the timeline your frequency is choosing. You are not losing yourself. You are stepping into a wider version. These signs are not psychological fluctuations. They are not coincidence. They are not imagination. They are indicators that your field has entered the separation corridor where two realities begin to diverge before one becomes dominant. And the reason they feel so familiar is because your system has been preparing for this long before your mind recognized it. Here is where the next stage begins. When these 7 signs appear together, even subtly, it means the split is no longer theoretical. It is active. It is shaping your inner world and reorganizing your outer world. You are not being destabilized. You are being aligned. Your reality is not falling apart. It is dividing so the higher timeline can emerge cleanly. Type this exactly. It anchors your field to the timeline coherence forming around you. I stabilize in the frequency I am becoming. As you write it, feel the soft shift behind your forehead, the warm clarity in your chest, the stillness rising inside you. This is not suggestion. This is resonance. This is the split revealing its truth. There is a moment in every frequency split when your timeline, your identity, and the version of you that already exists in a higher band begin interacting with each other. The mind cannot explain this moment, but the field feels it instantly. Here is what actually happens when the split begins shaping your future self. 1. Your old timeline begins collapsing quietly. Not violently, quietly. You notice opportunities fade without reason. Certain people drift away. Habits you once clung to suddenly feel hollow. Paths you planned lose their charge. This is not failure. This is timeline collapse, the old track losing energetic support because your field is withdrawing from it. When a timeline can no longer hold your frequency, it dissolves. This is why everything that once made sense feels strangely distant. It is not confusion. It is detachment from a reality you no longer belong to. 2. A new timeline begins opening underneath your feet, almost imperceptibly at first. You sense a pull toward choices you cannot justify yet. You feel drawn to new environments, new people, new impulses, new versions of yourself. Ideas appear that feel too big, too sudden, too true. This is not impulsiveness. This is timeline emergence, the birth of a path aligned with the frequency you are stepping into. You are not lost. You are being guided toward the version of your life that already matches who you're becoming. 3. Your future self begins echoing into the present moment. You feel flashes of clarity out of nowhere. You get sudden bursts of confidence that feel borrowed from someplace ahead. You receive insights that seem too wise to come from your current identity. You sense a presence that feels like you, but upgraded. This is not fantasy. This is future self-echoing communication from the version of you that already exists on the higher timeline. The split thins the boundary between present identity and future identity, allowing their voices to overlap. 4. Identity begins to stratify into layers. You feel like multiple versions of yourself are sitting inside one body. One part is still attached to old stories. Another part feels brand new, unfamiliar, expanded. Another part is watching all of it from a higher vantage point. This is not fragmentation. This is identity stratification, the natural effect of moving between two timelines at once. You are not breaking apart. You are widening so the you who is emerging can fit inside your life. 5. Decision-making becomes binary and sharp. A choice either feels alive or dead, right or wrong, yes or no. There is no middle ground. Your field rejects decisions that belong to the old timeline with an almost physical discomfort, and it pulls you toward decisions aligned with your new frequency with a sense of inevitability. This is not impatience. This is timeline sorting, the process where your energy organizes choices by alignment rather than preference. You are not indecisive. You are being recalibrated. 6. You feel a subtle pressure from the future pulling you forward. It shows up as restlessness, as if you've outgrown yourself overnight. You sense you are meant for something larger, even if you cannot name it. You feel like you're standing in a doorway, aware that something is calling you but unable to see it yet. This is not dissatisfaction. This is the gravitational pull of your higher timeline. The split makes the frequency of your future self strong enough to influence your present behavior. This pull is not a problem. It is guidance. 7. Your inner world starts reorganizing itself to match the identity you are moving into. Your preferences shift. Your emotional responses change. Your priorities rearrange without effort. You detach from patterns you once thought were permanent. You crave alignment more than comfort. This is not instability. This is identity migration, your system leaving the version of you tied to the old timeline and stepping into the version built for the new one. Migration feels like loss only to the mind. To the field, it feels like returning home. These changes are not confusion. They are not chaos. They are not emotional volatility. They are the architecture of a split timeline reshaping your identity so you can inhabit the future that already exists for you. Everything feels different because you are already interacting with the version of yourself who lives on the other side of the split. And this is why things that once felt secure now feel too small. This is why parts of your life feel like they're dissolving. This is why you feel both yourself and beyond yourself at the same time. You are not falling apart. You are stepping into coherence with your future expression. Type this exactly. It locks your field to the timeline that is opening for you. I align with the future that is already calling me. As you write it, notice how your chest expands, how your breathing slows, how a quiet certainty rises behind your awareness. This is not suggestion. This is resonance. This is the split becoming identity. There is a moment in a 48-hour frequency split when the body begins responding before the mind can interpret what is happening. Your system feels the shift long before you can explain it. Here is what actually happens when your physical, emotional, and intuitive layers interface with a split timeline. 1. You feel pressure gathering in specific points of the body, the forehead, the chest, the spine. It rises and fades in waves. Sometimes it feels like a subtle weight between the eyebrows. Sometimes it feels like a warm expansion in the heart. Sometimes like a soft pull at the base of the skull. This is not tension. This is your nervous system calibrating to a new frequency band. Pressure is the first sign that the body is adjusting its internal rhythm to match the split. 2. Sudden heat or cold moves through your body like currents. A wave of warmth in the chest, a shiver across the shoulders, a cool breeze across the arms, even in a still room. These sensations do not follow temperature. They follow frequency. When a timeline shift opens, the body absorbs new energetic patterns and the physical layer responds through temperature fluctuations. This is not imbalance. This is the field regulating itself so it can handle the acceleration. 3. You sense a presence in the room. Even when you are alone, a gentle awareness behind you, a subtle intelligence around you, a feeling that something is watching over, not watching at. This is not imagination. During a split, your intuitive perception widens, and you begin to feel the higher aspects of your own field, your guides, your future self, your expanded identity moving closer. Presence is the first sign of alignment, not the first sign of fear. 4. Your intuition begins delivering information directly, without effort. You know things without processing. You feel answers before asking questions. You sense when something is wrong or when something is right, in seconds. Insight arrives like a quiet voice that does not sound like thought. This is not overthinking. This is your intuitive channel becoming the primary receiver. A split makes intuition louder because the logical mind is no longer the main navigator. 5. Emotional waves rise quickly but dissolve cleanly. A brief sadness, a sudden release, a moment of intensity that passes faster than it arrived. These waves are not mood swings. They are emotional density clearing as your system enters a higher timeline. The split pushes old emotional residues out of the body so the new timeline cannot carry the weight of old stories. When a wave rises and falls without residue, it is not instability, it is purification. 6. Your physical body begins to feel like it is being tuned. Your posture shifts on its own. Your breath deepens without you trying. Your hands tingle, your spine straightens, your shoulders drop. These spontaneous adjustments are not random. They occur because your body is reorganizing itself to match the frequency of the new trajectory. You are not malfunctioning. You are being tuned like an instrument aligning to a stable tone. 7. Your perception of reality becomes slightly heightened. Colors sharpen. Sounds carry meaning. Time stretches or compresses. You feel more aware of subtle cues, the energy of a room, the shift in someone's tone, the presence of synchronicities clustering together. This is not hypersensitivity. This is expanded perception activated by the split. When your field enters a new timeline, your senses widen to read the environment more effectively. 8. You feel guided from within, a soft nudge telling you to rest, a clear impulse telling you to move, a quiet knowing telling you to wait. Guidance becomes the natural state because the inner and outer layers of your energy field begin harmonizing. You are not uncertain. You are being directed. 9. Your dreams shift into high structure. They feel instructional, symbolic, guided. You wake with clarity rather than confusion. This is not random dreaming. This is your subconscious receiving information from the higher timeline you are entering. Dream architecture becomes more coherent because your field is aligning with a future version of yourself. All of these sensations, pressure, heat, presence, intuition, waves, tuning, clarity are not signs of instability. They are signs of integration. Your system is adjusting itself so you can hold the reality you are moving toward. Type this exactly. It anchors your body to the frequency forming around you. I allow this integration to complete in clarity. As you write it, notice how your breath settles, how the mind softens, how the body recognizes something familiar. This is not disruption. This is embodiment. There is a moment in every frequency split when the universe stops waiting for you to be ready and begins revealing why this is happening now. Not last month, not next year, now. The timing is precise because your field finally crossed thresholds it could not access before. Here is what actually determines why you were pulled into the split at this exact moment. 1. Your field became readable. For most people, their energy is layered, fogged, fragmented, hidden behind emotional walls and unresolved timelines. But something in you opened. Your field stopped scattering itself and began broadcasting as a single coherent signal. When the field becomes readable, higher guidance can finally interact with it. Readability is not about perfection. It is about transparency. And your transparency reached the level where your timeline could be recalibrated. This is not coincidence. This is resonance. 2. Your emotional layer became transparent enough for acceleration. Humans think spiritual readiness looks like positivity or stability. It doesn't. It looks like honesty. You became emotionally honest with yourself in ways you were not before. You stopped pretending things were fine. You stopped suppressing what hurt. You allowed truth instead of resistance. Emotional transparency is what makes your field visible. When the universe can finally see you clearly, it can finally move you into the timeline you belong to. This is not emotional chaos. This is emotional clarity. 3. You reach the coherence threshold. There is a point in everyone where inner conflict stops dominating the field. Your mind, emotions, intuition, and body begin working as one signal. That signal becomes stable, measurable, and aligned. Coherence is the moment your frequency stops fighting itself. It is the moment you stop fighting yourself. When coherence stabilizes, the split timeline can attach to your field without destabilizing it. Coherence is not calmness. Coherence is alignment. And you aligned. 4. Your future self began calling you forward. Every future timeline has a version of you who already embodies the frequency you are reaching for. In the days before a split, that future identity begins echoing backward into the present. You feel it as impulses, clarity, intuition, sudden knowing. You feel drawn to things without explanation. You feel pushed away from things that once felt familiar. This is not confusion. This is the gravitational pull of the version of you that already exists in the new timeline. The calling becomes louder when the timeline is ready to merge. 5. Your timeline responsiveness increased. There are phases in life where nothing moves, nothing answers, nothing shifts, but recently, your field entered a hypersensitive state where every intention, every fear, every desire, every shift in emotional tone immediately shapes your reality. The universe only allows responsiveness when a person is stable enough to handle it. When your timeline begins answering quickly, it means you are being positioned for a split. Responsiveness is not instability, it is preparation. 6. Your inner resistance dissolved enough for transformation. The universe does not push through resistance. It waits for openings, and in the last phase of your journey, something inside you softened. The grip loosened, the fear relaxed, the resentment thinned, the self-doubt cracked. Not perfectly, just enough. Enough for new energy to enter, enough for a new identity to anchor, enough for a new trajectory to lock in. When resistance dissolves, even briefly, the split can initiate. This is not loss of control. This is surrender becoming alignment. 7. The old timeline reached completion. A timeline ends not when everything is solved, but when it stops growing you, when it can no longer expand you, when it becomes too small for who you are becoming. Recently, your old storyline reached its final learning point. It could no longer hold your evolution. That is why certain relationships felt misaligned, why old patterns felt uncomfortable, why familiar environments felt foreign. You were outgrowing the timeline that shaped you. Timeline completion is not collapse, it is graduation. 8. You became capable of receiving higher guidance without distortion. Guidance is subtle, It is quiet. It is felt, not heard. Most people cannot detect it because their inner noise is too loud. But your field has become quiet enough, still enough, coherent enough to recognize the subtle direction coming from the new timeline. When the guidance becomes receivable, the shift becomes possible. This is not imagination, this is communication. 9. You stepped into the exact energetic window your soul has been preparing you for. The split does not happen at random. It happens at a moment when your emotional readiness, energetic stability, intuitive openness, and timeline alignment converge at a single point. And you reach that point now. Not because life pushed you, because your inner world finally matched the frequency of the path waiting for you. These reasons, readability, transparency, coherence, calling, responsiveness, release, completion are not accidents. They are markers of readiness. They are signs you have entered the moment your life has been building toward. Type this exactly. It aligns your field with the transition unfolding around you. My field aligns with the split. As you write it, feel the stillness forming behind your mind, the clarity rising in your chest, the quiet recognition that you are exactly where you are meant to be. There is a moment at the end of every split where the energy stops introducing itself and begins integrating into your life. You are in that moment now. Everything that has unfolded, every acceleration, every surge of coherence, every shift in your timeline has carried you to the threshold you are standing on. And once you cross it, you do not go back. Not because you are forced forward, but because your field no longer matches the frequency of who you once were. You have moved through the destabilizing phase. You have moved through the recognition phase. You have moved through the alignment phase. And now you are entering the anchoring phase. This is the stage where the new timeline begins to attach itself to your identity, not symbolically, energetically. You feel it as a quiet certainty forming behind your thoughts, a subtle stillness in your chest, a sense of direction emerging without effort. These are not random inner shifts. They are the signs that the split has already chosen its trajectory through you. The version of you from before, the one who hesitated, doubted, resisted, cannot follow you where you are going next. That version has completed its purpose. You may feel echoes of it, memories of how you used to think or react, but the identity itself is dissolving. This is why the last few days felt strange, stretched, unfamiliar. You were not losing yourself. You were stepping out of the layer of self that belonged to the old timeline. And now a new version is gathering around you. You can feel it, the clarity, the internal acceleration, the quiet recognition that something irreversible has begun. When a frequency split completes its initiation, the next 48 hours become the structuring phase. They shape your coherence. They define the trajectory of your timeline. They determine which version of your future self becomes the dominant signal. This is why the next 2 days matter. They are not ordinary time. They are construction. In this construction phase, your system becomes extremely sensitive to fields around you, not emotionally fragile, energetically impressionable. You absorb frequency quickly. You entrain to whatever is coherent, stable, elevated. This is why you must be careful with what you surround yourself with. Chaotic environments will feel heavier than usual. Noise will feel sharper. People who are misaligned with your direction will feel energetically distant. This is not disconnect. This is protection. Your field is choosing what it can safely merge with. Acceleration is still happening. Coherence is still building. Your timeline is still restructuring itself around your new identity. And because of that, you need stability, not isolation stability. A field that understands the frequency you are entering. A space where your nervous system can relax while your energy reorganizes. A place where your transition is not misunderstood as overwhelm but recognized as emergence. You are not meant to navigate this threshold alone. People who go through a split without support often misinterpret the signs. They think the intensity is a setback. They think the sensitivity is regression. They think the identity shift is confusion. It is none of those things. But without a coherent field around you, your system has to hold the entire transition on its own, and that is heavier than it needs to be. You are stepping into a frequency that requires resonance, not resistance. A frequency that strengthens when you are held in the right environment. A frequency that deepens when you are surrounded by others who are moving through the same acceleration. This next stage is not about learning more. It is about being in a field that matches what your timeline is becoming. You already feel the pull toward that field. You already sense that what carried you this far cannot carry you further. You already know that the changes happening inside you are real, precise, intelligent. And if you have followed this transmission all the way to this moment, it is because your field recognizes the frequency it belongs to. You are not at the beginning anymore. You are in the crossing. If you feel the resonance, you know what comes next. Not as an obligation, as a recognition. Step into the field that matches your new frequency. Join the circle, the space where coherence is anchored, where guidance is clear, where your timeline can stabilize without pressure, where your next version can emerge without distortion. You are no longer preparing, you are transitioning. And the field that aligns with your timeline is waiting.